not around now.
That's accurate.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm back. My foot now is in a boot. I call it my Star Wars boot. It's like a Star Wars. It's like a stormtrooper. I was trying to get another one, but they said it cost too much money. My insurance wasn't going to allow it.
Yeah, like they ran out of equipment.
I'm dying to see what this is going to cost. I had to sign a piece of paper that said they were going to build my insurance company. I'm really like to see how much this thing costs.
I'm going to guess $2,800.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It's got a regular pump.
Do you get to keep it when you're done?
Yeah. Who's going to take this back? It's going to be all ruined. You want to sign it? No, I'm not letting you sign it this time.
All right.
Well, welcome, everybody. The 15th American Craftsman Podcast.
Yeah.
Where has the time gone?
I don't know.
Feels like less and more all at the same time.
Yeah. That's true.
Christmas,
and you know what? Christmas is right around the corner.
Creeping up.
Yeah, we'll have our Festivus. What are we calling it?
I don't know.
Our Festivus Miracle
That would be
episode.
good to test Christmas cookies
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yeah. Are you going to be baking this week?
I might. Well, I got my peg leg.
You got that rolling pin over there.
I'm going to take that home today, too.
That peg leg has not proven to successful.
No, it is a very unsecure thing to walk around in.
Yeah. So kudos to those pirates of past who actually
I think it works because you don't have this other thing dangling off the back.
Yeah, but they were on ships at sea.
That's true.
Yeah, how much evidence is there of like widespread peg leg use?
That's true. That's could be just a
You think that's
We'll get into this
fairy
on
tale.
Is that a myth? What about the hook? What about the hook hand?
That I think was real.
All right.
But did he have interchangeable parts? It was just a hook.
I think
the peg leg was definitely real, but I don't know how many of those were.
Yeah.
Because think about it, back in the 1500s, you lose a leg, odds are you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I mean, that's what happened even in the Civil War.
Yeah.
That's
Even
true.
as late as World War I, World War II. I
Right.
mean, it was not that easy to save a limb.
Amputations usually led to death more, especially that battlefield stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not wearing the peg leg anymore.
Anywho.
Or the rolling.
We don't digress too easily.
Or the
Jeez.
rolling cart.
This is a regular occurrence, so don't think it's just a podcast thing. This is how all conversations go.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty excited right now because we finally got a beer sponsor.
Yeah.
And I got the shirt on today, so
Alex Mitchell.
Alex Mitchell, Tennessee Brewery, finally tuned. I read that because he read it for me because I couldn't see it.
Tennessee Brew Works.
Tennessee Brew Works.
That's a Nashville staple.
I was there. I was in Knoxville.
Oh.
That's where I was.
So we're in the shop today. Rob gets a text from his wife. Rob's house is in front of the shop, basically.
Here's the net.
She said, "Oh, there's a package on the front porch." So we're expecting a piece of glass from Virginia to replace a door for a client. And I see this other package. I see the name Alex Mitchell, and I knew because Alex had told me that he was thinking about sending beer. So he sends us this. We got a little blurb here. Actually, you know what? I'll read the card he sent.
Yeah, because it's more than just a 4-pack.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you for a great, informative, and entertaining podcast. I would like to sponsor the beer of the week, Nashville style. The beer is made here in Nashville and is a little high on the gravity scale. I've also enclosed a local candy.
Alcohol?
Yeah. A local candy that's been a part of our city for over 100 years. Enjoy and have a Merry Christmas. P.S. Rich can cut the sleeves off of the shirt.
You know
Alex.
what? I'm not going to cut the sleeves over this one because I'm going to keep it like this.
So here's the candy he sent. Goo Goo Clusters.
They're good.
Yeah, I had one already.
I haven't
So
had
did I.
one yet, but
There's one in there.
I've heard the name. I haven't had them before. Peanut, caramel, and marshmallow nougat covered in milk chocolate.
It was
Even
good.
the picture looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I
It was
put
good.
them in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were delicious. I have to say that I was speechless unwrapping this box of stuff.
Oh, yeah. The kindness and generosity and from everybody, it's
Just
always overwhelming.
The care, each bottle was wrapped up individually in bubble wrap. I mean, it just blew me away. I couldn't believe it. So
You
thanks
check
a
to
lot.
see if your name is on it too. Your name might be imprinted on one bottle for each one of us.
Got a little something extra in there for him. So I'll read this little. He actually even enclosed a little blurb about the beer.
Yeah, shout out to the Tennessee Brew Works.
So this beer is called Triple Star. It's a Belgian-style triple, ABV 9%, IBU 30. IBU is the International Bitterness Unit, so 30 is pretty low. This Tennessee-born Belgian-style ale is humbly brewed with inspiration from the finest Trappist traditions. Trappist monks were first ones to make
Tennessee?
Legendary brewers.
Yeah. Harnessing the yeast of the legendary West Mall Abbey, we have created a traditional Belgian-style triple right here in Tennessee. Notes of apricot, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove provide a complex and full-flavored ale. Triple Star is cellared for over 6 months prior to release. Stronger beers such as this one need time to properly condition for an optimal drinking experience. Accordingly, we have taken care to nurture this creation. Cellar cold, drink with enthusiasm. Yeah, they're absolutely right about aging those strong beers.
Uh-oh.
I'm salivating.
9% is nothing crazy.
No, it was 8. What were those others that were 8, right?
I like they dip it too, and they.
Yeah, if you're listening, the bottles are dipped in wax. I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. I could barely take the suspense here.
Is that the heat going on?
Yeah.
That's the heat.
Yeah, if you hear that noise, that's our heat right above our heads.
Yeah, we're getting our first snowfall. There's light flakes falling. Didn't it snow just a tad last week?
You said it.
Yeah,
did
during the
Wednesday.
podcast, it flurried for about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're here in the Northeast. We're very close to the water, so we're hoping that we're not going to get hit too bad. But
You're hoping. I want some freaking snow.
Well,
the
let
hell?
us know in your section.
Rob's the only guy that doesn't have to leave the house, and he doesn't want snow.
That's true.
I don't want to look out my door and see that damn snow on the ground.
Well, this is a work to get to this.
Yeah, these
huh?
are tough to open.
start chipping away at that wax.
You gotta clear one little edge of the
All right.
the cap.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to wait here and be a gentleman.
I like the color scheme. Very vintage, kind of old school.
Yeah,
looking.
the blue with the red and the gold.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm rooting for the Tennessee Titans now, so.
Yeah.
I remember when they became a team.
Yeah.
What, they were the Houston Oilers, right?
Yeah.
See, I was a Carolina Panthers fan when I was a kid because I liked the mascot.
You like the Panther?
Yeah, I mean, I was a Giants fan growing up. Don't
do this.
Don't cut. Don't cut towards your thumb. Cut towards your chum.
Oh, yeah, this is. I can be here all day.
Good thing this knife is dull. Here, no. Take this. We don't need a foot and a hand injury.
Yeah.
So, what was your high school mascot?
The Pirates.
The Pirates.
Did he have a peg leg?
Green, gold, and white. No, it was the old Buccaneers.
Yes.
Was our.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to like one that had that more like tri-corner kind of hat.
Oh,
pirate
yeah,
hat.
the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what about you, Rich?
You really want to know what my school's
I think we
mascot
talked about
was.
this. It was something
Yeah.
ridiculous, wasn't it?
peacocks?
Yeah, God. And wasn't it purple? Your color's purple or something?
Yeah, well, the high school it was Marauders. Marauders, I think it was. St. Peter's Prep Marauders. I'm not sure.
That's like a
But
pirate, basically.
The college was the Peacocks.
Woo, boy.
Don't
See?
get a peacock upset.
I was a West Virginia Mountaineer, the only mascot cool enough to carry a gun.
There you go.
We couldn't carry a gun. He had no hands.
Who was
Just had
the
feathers.
Marauder? Oh, the peacock. Yeah, I don't want an armed bird.
In Arizona, I went to Greenway High School. They were the Greenway Demons.
Was it the Duke logo?
No, it was a knockoff of the Arizona State
Sun
Sun
Devils.
Devils, where I also went to school.
So it's like a baby demon, like
yeah.
a Cupid.
And then,
Like a kleine hammer?
yeah, in Texas, we were the, I'll tell you about that Kleinehammer. We were the China Spring Cougars. The Kleinehammer, somebody else out there in TV land enjoyed the Kleinehammer.
Who? Some little kid?
Oh, Hunter.
Besides,
Yeah.
Hunter. No.
Oh, Luddy.
Yeah, didn't somebody pick one up? Yeah, remember you were telling me about the affiliates.
Did they pick it up
Maybe.
as a gag gift for somebody?
Yeah, maybe.
I can't rule that out.
I'm dying to taste this beer.
Yeah, come on. Cheers. It has
Cheers.
a nice sound even.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's right up the middle of the street there
Yeah.
for me.
Well, that's not bad.
That tastes like 9% alcohol.
That's good stuff.
That's good for a snowy. You sit, go outside for a beer in the snow.
That's for
that's a
for
good-
Rob. Because you
Yeah.
don't have to go anywhere. You can just sit outside and drink a beer. You can drink one of these. You can drink that in the last one.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, I don't like the snow.
Should we, let's talk about the Secret Santa now, and then we'll get to the tool of the week.
All right.
So, as you guys probably know, we did the Secret Santa this year. We coordinated where, you could sign up and you get paired with another woodworker or carpenter or whatever, and you send them a gift. So we got paired up with Jake Hasler. He's Hasler Craft on Instagram. He sent us 2 really cool gifts. We got these, over the weekend, but I wanted to hold out for the podcast. So he sent us this eye gauging 0 to 6 inch fractional dial caliper, which this is awesome. I actually own one of these. Calipers are one of those things where if you want as many as you can and just scatter them all over the shop.
Yeah, it's because we're always misplacing it, as you might say.
I mean, I reach for this thing constantly every day.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this is it's a dial caliper, but it has not only thousandth graduation, but also fractions.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. People get a little crazy with wood. It is wood. When you cut it and you put it together, it's going to change size. So we don't get super crazy. This is in, let's see, 16th divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, divided by...
How many is that? You got the
5.
good eyes.
I think they're 64ths.
Yeah.
So, you can read this down to 1/28,
Yeah.
which is plenty good enough for
it's more than we're gonna ever need
for wood, yeah. Which, I mean, you just read between the lines for that. And then he got us this book by Robert Lang. We were actually just talking about him.
Yeah. I was already going through that book, picking out some stuff for myself.
Yeah. Great book of shop drawings for craftsman furniture.
It's got some great illustrations in there.
I didn't know it was all craftsman.
Obviously, Jake knows a little about us, so knows that we love craftsman
And
style
that's
stuff.
a really beautiful hardcover book, too.
Yeah. Yeah, over in the... If you can see over there under the TV, we have a bunch of books, and there's some books by Robert Lang over there.
Yeah, we have several.
That's why I recognize the name, because I have a couple of these books.
Yeah.
That's why I built those 2 nightstands that I had.
Yeah, we're a fan of Robert Lang books.
For the last 15 years.
So Jake knows what the deal is over here.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
So Merry Christmas, Jake, and thank you.
Merry Christmas, yes, I like that.
So we don't get beer on it. So that brings us to the tool of the week.
I was kind of...
You want me to get it for you?
No, I have it. It's here. It's down here.
Yeah, you want me to reach it?
That cribble.
Oh, you're having a hard time.
I have a hard time with everything.
He's struggling.
That's his middle name.
Everybody's a comedian.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. I can't wait till somebody gets an affliction that I could just sit
was just
here
trying to
and
help.
just say, well, you really can't do that, can you?
By that point, you might not be able to see or hear, so...
So I forgot. I really didn't remember that I was the tool of the week. So I had to pick something real quick. So I'm picking something that we use all the time. Most of the time we're building something.
Yeah.
And that's the glue that we use. I am a particular fan of the Typon 3. I know there's other people in this shop. I'm not going to mention. I'm sure he's going to mention it himself. That still Likes the old Elmer Glue type version.
Number one.
But it's And then I like these are the handles that Jeff has made for us, and I know we're selling these on the our.
Yeah, that's like version.
It's one of the first versions, because you see there's a screw in here holding it together.
Yeah, it's a 2-piece. It was,
this is a perfect size. It just clips right into my my Calavera belt or my Calavera apron, and I carry this around with me most of the time. And listen, you got to have glue. What else are you going to use?
What do you like about the Type Bond 3?
For some reason, it's the dark color, because it'll get dark, and you could see it when it gets dark. You could see it on the wood. So when you're sanding, you know you're getting all the glue off. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about that. It's dark like that. I'm not worried about it being waterproof, but again, that's one of the main reasons I like it.
Yeah,
I like that thin viscosity.
Yeah.
The Type On 1 and 2, for me, they're even... We might have been talking about this last week. I don't remember. They're hard to spread with your finger because it's so thick. It like almost dries out too fast.
You got to have gorilla hands.
Yeah, well, I got these size medium.
Oh, you're going to be the brunt of all my jokes.
Speaking of which,
now.
Jake. So Jake, we sent him a couple things from the three of us. One of the things I sent were these Dex Fit gloves I like to wear. Yeah. And I went on his Instagram. I'm looking. He looks like a regular sized guy. Yeah. So I sent him large. I figure most people wear large. Yeah. And I said, he messaged me. I said, I hope, the large are good. I said, you look like, just a regular sized guy. He goes, I'm 6'7". I usually wear extra large. I'm like, mother. Like, man, I totally misread that one.
Yeah. No, I like the Type Bond 1, but I use the Type Bond 3. The hard thing for me going back and forth is, I've been using 1 for so long that you get used to how much glue to use, when you're trying to spread it out on a joint. So, but I'm adaptable.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
I got to turn the heat down.
Yeah. Jeff turned the heat up about a degree, and now it's killing us.
I'm looking at his bench. There's not one Type On 3 over there.
I think I have 6.
No, there is a...
He does. He's got 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it for...
No, now you call me hypocrite.
Yeah. There's one.
Hypocrite.
Oh, yeah, there is 2
You have
over
2.
there.
You have Type On 2, quick and thick, Type On 1, Type On 3, Type On 3.
It's all dusty and crudted over the top.
No, I used it yesterday, actually, the 3.
Look, I have 3 3s and a white glue.
I have a 3 over there, a 3, the molding glue, and some white glue that I stole from that shop I used to
I got one of those too.
work at.
Well, look, I got the gallon jug of original.
Yeah, look, it's so faded and old.
I know.
Is that solidified already?
No. So, but
Look at the color on that. Well, it's not really that orangey color, right? It's like a red color.
Yellow. Oh,
No, I'm not talking about the label.
Yeah, red.
Yeah. That's from being in the window.
But it's facing this way.
Yeah, probably because
Probably been up there for 15 years. For those of you that don't know, on our website, GreeneStreetJoinery.com, we sell all kinds of accessories for glue bottles. I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast.
No, we haven't.
So we've designed like a belt clip for these 8-ounce Type On bottles, a belt clip for the 16-ounce bottles, a clip with a cap for the quick and thick bottles, a replacement cap for the quick and thick that's tethered, so you don't lose it. Have like docks where you can keep your bottle upside down with a little sponge. It keeps the tip
I got a couple of those.
cleared out. Got a universal cap for just like a regular, glue bottle you get from Hayfley or whatever. What else do we have?
You got one for the Elmer's glue yet? Remember the old with the orange cap and has that little tiny little
Elmer's
hole?
makes a yellow wood glue.
I know they do. I've used it.
I like the Elmer's putty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, they have a great mascot.
Yeah.
Could we use in the Elmer's? Can we use that wax kind of glue, the stick glue?
Glue stick?
What if that would hold together wood if we tried to join it together and clamp it?
I don't think so.
Paste.
Oh, what else do we have? Oh, we also have the Gorilla Glue replacement cap. So check that stuff out.
Yeah.
We actually have a 25% off sale right now.
Yeah.
Coupon code HO. One word.
That's
Is that an HOE or HO?
HO.
Yeah. That stuff was driven by our own needs and wants.
Yeah, and I wanted an excuse to buy a 3D printer.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, what's tool of the week? That's Rich. Gripe of the week? That's me.
You're the griper.
I'm the griper. You know, this is something that happened to me recently, and this kind of touches on some of the things we've talked about. Thanksgiving, my refrigerator breaks. So it's not like I live in the outback somewhere. This is a metropolitan area. You can't throw a rock without hitting some kind of store that sells appliances.
It's not that you don't look like you live in an outback.
Yes, that's right.
Let's get that straight.
That's right. Hey, I am wearing my Blake Woodworks t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which we talked about, but, let me sport that logo a little bit. It was painful trying to get a refrigerator. And not because of the holiday. The stores were open and doing business. Nothing's in stock. And then you go online, and it's like everything shows in stock. And you go to the checkout, put it in your cart. Delivery, January 23rd.
Oh, yeah, I got a sub-gripe when you're done.
Yeah, that's the gripe, right?
I got a sub-gripe, unless he touches on it, on his sub-gripe.
All right, so I'll drop it and let the gripe make its way around the table. The gripe is, as you know, everything is effing China. And there's nothing here. There's nothing here sitting in the stores. It's all got to get on a boat. And it was really disgusting and discouraging that I had to wait even a week. Not that we didn't make it, fine. We just shopped like the old days. But the idea that there wasn't a refrigerator available because it's all coming from China. That really burned me.
Yeah.
So
luckily you were able to poach the
that's right.
The shop fridge.
I took the refrigerator that we keep our beer in and put it up on the porch for my butter and half. So I had good breakfast. What's your sub-gripe?
Here's my sub-gripe. Now when you shop, see, I'm an online shopper because I don't like to go places. I come to the shop, I go home. So
you two like peas in a pod.
Yeah. Cut from the same cloth.
Father and son.
Yeah, mistaken more than once.
That's right.
So when I can't find something online or I need something right away, like for example, we bought this lav mic and I need an adapter. So I go online, nothing's going to get here, as soon as I need it. And so I go to Google Shopping, type in what I'm looking for, and go to nearby. So it lists the stores that have this thing nearby. Yeah. Now, when you go on a website, like you said, it shows everything is in stock, but it's like, available for pickup on December 28th. So, no, it's not in stock.
Right.
You're having it shipped to the store, and I'm picking it up there.
Yeah.
And it's almost every item. It gets super tricky now to try and find things locally using like a search engine because of the way they have that set up.
And if you're not paying attention, you'll click on the thing to let that sale go through. They charge your credit card right away. And if you're not looking at the little delivery date thing, it'll throw you off. And then you'll have to go through the whole return process.
Yeah. Well, my gripe is when we were looking at the catalog to get gifts for the Secret Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Lee Valley came out with the Christmas catalog. Good luck trying to find anything in that catalog that's available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything's out of stock.
Yeah.
I went online and I was looking because I didn't have a physical copy. And I was plugging in like what you guys were sending me, all out of stock. Everything I was looking at, that little Veritas mallet I have, everything out of stock until April.
You know what's funny is that I went to go buy something from Carhartt, and right from Carhartt, it was out of stock. And then I could get the same thing from Amazon. Amazon had that item. I don't know.
Well, like I said, a lot of the gag gifts I ordered for the Christmas party, I'm lucky if I'm going to get them before the holidays. I mean, I order stuff. When I do work on my models, I order stuff from outside the United States.
Yeah.
One particular thing I ordered from Poland just recently, and the guy wrote me a letter saying, listen, I'm sending it out now, but you know how shipping and the postal can be. It's going to take some time. And I understood that. I'm glad he was up front. And I said, yeah, okay, I know it's going to happen that way. Order something from China, and it takes 6 weeks to get to me. And it's just, I guess it's because of what's going on with this COVID-19 or with the pandemic. But wake up, America. When are we going to get started back to putting manufacturing back in this country?
Agreed. No reason we can't be making items like refrigerators and things like that.
Which we talked about on our after show.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So it's a sore spot, and it just kind of hit home again.
Yeah.
You know my motto. It's F. I'm not going to say it.
Well, John.
Yeah.
The corporations that are shipping all the jobs overseas.
Yeah. Nothing against the people or anything like that. It's probably American companies at the root of it all.
Yeah.
It is. Everybody has a piece to blame in this.
Yeah. That's right. So we're back to the questions now, right? Yeah, there's been a gnat in here for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 5 dozen of them.
So I'll let you read this one, Robert.
All right.
Yeah, here we go. Questions of the week.
Who calls the shots when it comes to the shop radio? What types of music are you into individually? And in particularly, Rob, what influenced him for the music his bands wrote and played? That's from Danny.
So you go first. Answer that last part before.
You're just a white dude playing a white dude that's playing a black dude.
What influence for the music? Well, a lot of Afrobeat, soul, R&B, funk. It's not the only music I listened to growing up. I cut my teeth on a lot of 70s rock and roll bands like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. But it was just the music that moved me the most. And a lot of this stuff comes from exposure. And it just so happened growing up, these were the areas I lived and these were the people I knew. And
you got Western Bantu blood.
Yeah, that's right. But, and I just dug it. It just spoke to me from early on.
What did his genealogy say he was part of?
Western Bantu.
Western Bantu. Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's where he got his soul.
Yeah.
And the Sicilian,
it's all societal influences.
Yeah.
And, a part of the Afrobeat thing that I really enjoy, same reason like I love bands like The Clash and the Jam and things like that, is the socio-political ranting,
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. I mean, I love all of that stuff. I always crank up the radio when it comes on because I guess if I wasn't so old, I'd be out there in the streets right now.
Now you don't leave the house.
That's right. Yeah. All those street crawling days are over for me.
Yeah, we just drove back from our meeting with our accountant, and we're in Rob's neighborhood, and he didn't recognize a lot of the areas that he was driving in.
Like, man, there's a lot of nice property on this street.
Yeah, that's right around my corner.
I'm like, hey, you ever been down this road?
That is true. I've been here for almost 20 years still.
Driving with blinders on.
So somebody else take the top of
my
that.
kind of music. I like. What gets me with music is I have to listen to the music itself. I'm not interested in the words per se. I like a certain type of melody and a beat and
an Afro beat.
No. There's people like Coldplay. They have a certain sound. Snow Patrol has a certain sound. Bands like that, Springsteen has a certain sound. I don't listen to the words. I could be thinking of a song, perfect example, Born in the USA. People mistake that song as being favored to patriotic, and it's not. And I've been into places. I've been in places where they play it on 4th of July. They blast it.
They played it at political rallies.
Yeah.
So I mean I mean, now I know what it's all about, but I like the tune. Yeah. So a lot of the music I listen to now, it's actually the music that my two sons listen to because they played with a lot of different bands, these young bands out there. And when I'm driving with them, they'll put this music on. I'm saying, Wow, that sounds pretty good. What band is that?
Like 90s.
And it's something like I never heard of it. It's all these young bands.
Yeah, this is hip.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Start tapping the peg leg on the floor.
I could dig it, baby.
This is swell, Jack.
No, but I like to listen to old rock and roll. I'm not a jazzy type music. I can get into symphony.
You like the Coors Light of music.
No, I'm not that simple. I'm really quite complicated. I'm like an onion. You have to peel all the layers.
Oh, God.
Is that a Shrek quote?
Yeah.
Yes. See?
Yeah.
Well,
now I'm done.
Answering the first question, who calls the shots? We have a Pandora station that it's what is it, Soul Jazz Orchestra?
Yeah,
but that's not. I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff on it. We add different bands that we all like.
Yeah, but most of the majority of it isn't it all Rob's music that plays?
I think it tends to go that way, probably because Rob has added more bands over the years.
I'm more interactive.
Well, you've been deleting things too. If you don't like a song, you'll say don't like.
We may have been thumbs down on some things.
So I guess Brett is out, huh?
I'll be honest, I haven't heard Brett in weeks.
Yeah, I guess when the guy gets taken out of the shop, all his music is deleted. Yeah.
So for me,
let me write that check mark to write down.
Oh, God.
I go through phases of listening to a band, like, a lot. I listen to the same album over and over and over again. Bands that keep coming back. Coheed and Cambria, Tool, Steely Dan, The Deer Hunter, Circa Survive. What else? Snarky Puppy, which is like a jazz fusion band. I like a lot of like instrumental stuff, Animals as Leaders, Narbot, stuff like that. I listen to a lot of weird, not weird, but
more progressive stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of progressive rock and Clutch. I'm a big fan of Clutch. They're not progressive, but
I love Clutch too. You turned me on to that band.
I like Hall & Oates. I like
Loggins and Messina.
No,
Inland Dan and John Ford Coley.
No, I do like that one Kenny Loggins song that comes on though. That one I won't thumbs down. What else? I'm trying to think of what I put on in my truck.
I mean, you've been listening to Steely Dan for a while now. Big on the Steely Dan.
Yeah, I've been on a big Steely Dan kick for about 2 years, maybe a little more. I was shopping around for speakers, bookshelf speakers. And I'm looking at different ones, and I come across a thing like, and it says, audiophiles all use the album Asia by Steely Dan to test out the speakers because the production quality was so high. So then I had already been listening to Can't Buy a Thrill, which is like the first, I don't know if it's the first, but it was the first, I guess, big album by Steely Dan.
Early.
And before they really found that sound. So then I started listening to Asia, and after that, I was totally hooked on Steely Dan.
Yeah. That's a great record. I mean, they always had the great musicians. Steve Gadd's got...
Yeah, Bernard Purdy. I mean, all those great saxophone players. And
so there you have it. I'm the de facto king of the radio here.
Yeah, it's what he says goes.
There's an imminent coup.
Oh, wait till I come back. And wait till I break your leg and you can't come to the shop.
What kind of music did you grow up on?
Old rock and roll.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but I was kind of
old now, not old then.
No, I was into the kind of depressing music back then.
Shocker.
The sad songs, the sad love songs, like Bread and all that. Dan Hill, England Dan, John Ford Coley. Those are another one.
Did you like write poetry?
I liked my first CDs I ever got, my 8-tracks I ever got were...
you didn't read Sylvia Plath, did you?
No. Was AC/DC and The Grateful Dead and Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was into Black Sabbath.
There you go.
For a long time.
You're all over the gamut.
I am.
Yeah.
He's a complicated fellow.
He's a complicated
I'm like an
guy.
onion.
An onion.
Everybody loves a parfait.
And not a pearl onion.
Nope.
A big Vidalia.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm still peeling away. I don't want to see what's in the middle.
Sprout.
You want to read this next question from Manny?
Yeah, sure. This is from our buddy Manny. Manny's over there painting in the cold today, 54 degrees. If given the opportunity to do any project, no expenses, what would it be? Keep in mind, we don't really talk about these questions before.
Yeah, I never saw any of them until
I read them to put them on the sheet, but
I'm looking dumbfounded.
Rob,
typical.
I know what you want to build.
Yeah, my whole thing is to build like a Morris chair and a Morris settee or couch. That would be the thing, get custom cushions and big, like that brown orangey leather on there, or maybe green. I don't know, but that's what I want to do. Morris furniture.
If I had an opportunity and I was still in my younger days, I would like to take every single stick of furniture out of my house, and casing and molding, and maybe redo the whole house in a craftsman style house. Old style craftsman, with all the different types of joinery and all that, where I could just spend my time, doing it and not have to worry about anything. But that's a really
sweet.
It's something that's almost like hit the lottery. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, get some of those anti-aging.
Like those guys who go to build their homes out in the mountains. Yeah. They just go every weekend and spend a little bit more time doing it. I would love to have done that and still do it, but so that's what I want to do.
There's still time.
There is. There's
still time.
I might start taking the walls down in my house and just throwing some stuff out.
Yeah. There you go. We'll just start with it. You finished those 2 side tables.
And I finished that other unit was a craftsman style.
Yeah, they came out really good.
From the Lang. The Lang book.
Yeah. You had to go take that chest back from your daughter. That was too nice.
Yeah.
That was a nice craftsman style chest.
It was.
They wouldn't go in my house.
We should make plans.
Talked about what somebody wants already. I'll let that go for now.
Oh, God.
This is my wife. She wants to get rid of that roll top desk. She has an old beat up roll top desk.
Yeah.
And she goes, "You can make me a nice craftsman desk that goes with the break front that you built and all that." I said, "Yeah, I can."
How about a nice piece of Baltic birch, a couple of hairpin legs?
Yeah, that's it.
Did you see Danny's desk?
Make one just
and
like that.
My granddaughter's.
Yeah,
she loves it. She loved it.
That's what's so great about Danny. He loved his desk too. He really did.
He asked me about his bookcase.
That's coming.
Yeah, we need some more pictures, Danny.
Yeah,
I'm running out of pictures. Me, I'd really like to build a table and a set of like 8 chairs. Chairs are one of those things where we have clients sometimes ask us like, "Oh yeah, you guys build like stools and chairs?" I say we definitely can, but it's very costly because it's so time consuming. Like chair building is some of the hardest woodworking, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into these stick chairs and Windsor chairs.
Lots
and
of
stuff
little
like that.
parts and everything.
Yeah, and it's just not the same as the kind of woodworking we do. There's so many things to consider, angles of the back and of the seat and the height and proportion.
And if you've ever looked at like a store-bought chair, even ones that people spend good money on, you peel that cushion off and it's just a bunch of screws and corner blocks and sloppy glue. And those, we've all had the friends say, "Can you fix this chair for me? My aunt sat in and it broke."
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be building chairs like that. That's another reason why these are chairs that have to endure for 50 years plus. So that's a tall order, and it's going to be expensive. So we generally steer folks away from that. But
so, Manny, what would you do?
Yeah, let's hear it. Next.
Yeah,
Ooh, I like this guy's name on it. It's from Ciao Ducati on Instagram.
Ciao?
Ducati.
You think he's Italian?
Well, Ducati's Italian motorcycle.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the Duodesimo motor.
You think that's his real name then?
No.
Yeah, but he's saying goodbye Ducati. Maybe that means he doesn't like
Ducatis. Or hello Ducati.
Oh, Ciao's hello too?
Yeah.
What's buongiorno?
Good morning, good day. Really, literally good day. Yeah.
Isn't OG day?
Yeah. But buongiorno means good day. Buon mattino means good morning.
Guten Tag, guten Morgen. Guten
Afternoon's pomeriggio.
That sounds like a pasta dish.
Yeah.
So
Next time you go into an Italian restaurant, give me a pomeriggio, please.
it's the
Right away,
afternoon.
sir.
Come back at 3:00. So, Ciao Ducati on Instagram. Can you recommend a hobbyist table saw for somebody who's in a garage with limited space? That's a good question. Not everybody's got the. I mean, as far as wood shops go, we have a small wood shop, but compared to somebody who's working in their garage, we are like the New Yankee Workshop. You know, we have luxury here.
Yeah. I mean, this is about the size of like a 2-car garage.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's 24 by 36. So, well, do you have any? Anything
Yeah, there's
jump
a
out?
couple of different ways you can go about it. You can get a one of those Bosch job site saws. That's it cuts. It'll cut hardwood and all that. I've used it on a job site. I have no problems with it. Or you can go towards a contractor model, which is a little bit more sturdier. I think Delta has a contractor model. Even DeWalt probably has.
I think they
one.
all do. Jet makes
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Even
Or-
SawStop.
SawStop's making one
Well,
now.
that's where I would go if it in between. If you wanted to get, you can't go up for a Unisaw or a Powermatic. I'd go with a contractor type saw that's a little bit more beefier. Again, I like the portable ones, but that's because I do a lot of molding work around the house, or I did on the side. So it was nice that you be able to put that in the back of the truck and just carry it around.
Yeah.
But for a garage, I started out in my cellar, I had a Craftsman table saw.
Yeah.
It was heavy. Cast iron top, I couldn't move that thing. It was so tough to move that thing around. But now they've gotten so much better with the saws. So again, I'd probably stick with a contractor's saw.
You like a contractor
Yeah.
saw. You know, I started with a contractor saw too, a Jet. And for those that don't know, one of the big differences between a cabinet saw and a contractor saw is on the contractor saw, the motor is hanging off the back and it's suspended. It's kind of held in place by the belt.
Yep.
Where the cabinet saw, the motor is mounted on this cast iron trunnion. It's sort of like these yokes that hold the motor in place. So it's a lot more stable. It's still, the belts drive. It's just not suspended by those belts. This is the way I look at it. The footprint that each of these saws takes up is almost the same.
That's what I was going to say.
And if you don't have a lot of room, just get a 30-inch, or what's the small fence, like 36 inches?
36.
Because if you bought a job site saw, let's say, you're going to need outfeed. You're going to need something to the right of the blade probably, and it's going to be all flimsy and wonky. Get yourself the best cabinet saw you can afford, used, because they're pennies on the dollar. You can get them if you can get a 220 line. If you live in a home, you can run your own 220 line or have an electrician come out and do it for you pretty cheaply. And that's my recommendation. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the cabinet saw idea. I had the thought, a typical job site saw has like a 24 or 25 inch.
Yeah, they're limited.
Yeah, width of rip. Like the rip fence only goes to 25. Yeah. So if you wanted to make it the same size, you could always cut if it's a Biesmeyer style fence, you could cut this tube with, we have the saw stop right here. You could cut this rectangular tube to make it that small, and then you have the same amount of cross cut. But yeah, like Rob said, like the footprint, I think the footprint of a job site saw is actually bigger than a cabinet saw almost, because they have the stand and...
Well, they are a pain in the ass to move around. And the one thing they don't have is the pieces that you can use for outfeed to make it longer and things like that. You don't get that. You get that whatever. Well, if you had a contractor saw, you probably could set that up and build that.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of what you can afford. Yeah, if you can afford a cabinet saw, then yeah, go ahead and go
get a used cabinet.
Get a used cabinet saw
for less than you'd buy a new contractor saw for.
Yeah,
go on like the IRS auctions, not Internal Revenue Service. It's Industrial Recovery Service.
Yeah,
they like, let's say a furniture factory's closing, they auction off everything. We're talking paint booths that go for $50, full size paint booths that you could drive a car into.
Unisaws always for
$200.
Yeah,
I mean,
$200.
cheap. I mean, the table saw is the heart of the workshop, so you really want to have the best setup you can because, I mean, we spend so much time at the table saw.
That's it. We have 2.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'd like to have 3, 4.
So that's our recommendation.
Also, the question also talks about being a hobbyist.
Yeah. Well, still,
again, a good table saw will carry over.
It's going to make his work easier. He's not going to have to fight the tools.
And better.
In fact, there wasn't really a Craftsman was my first table saw. My first table saw was that table that you set up and you take your circular saw, you turn it upside down, and you attach it to the bottom of the table with the blade sticking out. And that was the first, when I started getting into making pine furniture and all that crafts, that was the first table saw I ever had.
Yeah. And one last thing, you could put it on a mobile base. Let's say you need to move it to the side to bring a car in.
Tuck it against the wall.
Yeah, really, really. And you're not going to lose your settings and things like that with a better built tool like a cabinet saw. Everything's going to stay as square as you have it set. Mm-hmm. Once you start rolling it around.
Yeah, and if you're really not doing a lot of woodworking and you're working with like plywood and stuff mainly, think about a track saw instead.
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, we love the track saw. We have a Makita.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that.
And a couple of fences, like the cross cut for 48 inches and the long one that'll cut, through a full sheet of plywood.
Yep.
We use that thing all the time, and we have 2 nice saws in the shop.
Yep.
All you need is a table for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and if you have specific questions, you want to give us some more info, we give you a better recommendation, shoot a message over.
Yeah, we could even, if you have something in mind, send it over to us. We'll give you an opinion on it. Mm-hmm. It's just our opinion, but, we have plenty of experience.
Next up.
Who we got?
Is from our buddy Jack Thornton. Let us know how that apprenticip is going if you started.
We were asking about that.
Yeah. Best method for keeping track of hours worked on each project. We were just talking about this a couple days ago.
Yeah. What do you say, Rich?
I might have to wait till the end or this is a big bugaboo with me, but I could understand the pros and cons as you both take drinks. The pros and cons to it.
Rich brought this up to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing to do, but it sometimes could be an honest value of how much time you actually spend on a job, whether you're spending too much time on the job and whether you're not spending enough time, whether you're spending less time on the job. The problem is with having 3 people working in the shop, you'd have to dedicate somebody to tracking all those hours. Plus, you also have to do it. You'd have to fill out a sheet that would track those hours, and that could be a pain. That could be a pain in the ass to do that. To keep filling out those timesheets. But from an accounting standpoint, from my point of view, is that I think it's kind of important to see exactly where and how long it's taking us to do a project. There have been some projects in the shop that we have lost a lot of time on. And it just because shit happens. Finishes didn't work right, or this didn't work right, and we had to redo it again, and then that didn't work right, and you know what I'm talking about. And then we had to do it over again. And then it'd be curious to see how many man hours totally we spent on that particular project, just as an eye-opener, per se, for me, to say, wow, we spent, Jesus, 80 hours on that job. And it was a job that we only priced out at $4,000. And wow, man, we can't make that mistake again. So let's see where our mistakes are and how we can correct it. It's not, see, people sometimes, and when I first started doing this back in companies I used to work for, people have a fear that you have to account for all 8 hours you're in the shop. So then you start filling out the time. At the end of the day, you're filling out the timesheet, and you're feeling guilty because, Jesus Christ, I did spend 6 hours on these couple of jobs. Where the hell did those other 2 hours go?
Yeah.
So you don't know where to put it.
Yeah.
So then you write down, oh, it was shop time. So people might look at that are looking at these timesheets and says, well, what would you do at the shop time? And let's face it, we all have time in the shop where there's other stuff that we work on, or we take a break and we do something here that's detrimental to the shop. Well, detrimental, is that the right word? It's good for the shop, beneficial for the shop. And we're not really keeping track of it. And I think people are afraid to fill out timesheets to say, I've been here 8 hours, but I did 6 hours of a work to a particular project. I'm not concerned about the 2 hours that you just did stuff in the shop, because you're a small shop. You see what's going on. You know what people are doing. You know, nobody's picking their noses, or if they want to work on something personal, no problems whatsoever. My factor is that I just want to see what's going on with that particular project to see where we're losing money. But I say I can argue against it too. But right now, that's my feeling.
I'm going to say I'll pick up on the fact that we're small and we basically will do one job at a time. And because we all know the economics of the job, we all know, all right, we got $10,000 of labor into this job. And then as the job's progressing, we kind of know because we're talking about it every day. It's like, how are we staying on schedule? So to me, the way I look at it is it's close enough. I'll know if the job went well because I just know from having done the job and how much we're getting paid. All right, this job worked out. And if a job's taking too long, we know that too because we're here, we're doing it. There's nowhere for that information to hide almost. If we had several things going on at the same time, then I would say there might be a stronger need for it, for logging. How much time did I spend on job A and job B and then job C? But I'm not opposed to it. In general, for me, it's just another step to worry about doing something. I
agree with that point. Yeah, it is a pain in the ass to sit there and stop what you're doing and fill out a timesheet for that last 10 minutes. I just worked on this particular project.
Well, I mean, you got to figure that 9 out of 10 or more days, there's only one job that we're doing. So it's always going to be job A until job A goes out the door. Then we start on job B.
Yeah, I certainly see the benefit to doing it. I've worked in companies that did it. When I was a finished carpenter, I might go to 5 or 6 job sites in a day. Yeah. And we had timesheets and we had job codes, job codes, task codes, where I was at this job, I did 400s were trim and 600s were this and zeros were cleaning. It was all broken down by that, and I would fill out every week the timesheet. With us, like Rob was saying, like we're kind of always working on one job at a time.
Yeah.
And even, like the shop time where you're not working on a job.
Somebody calls on the phone, you got to answer a question.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody has to pay for that.
Yeah.
So if we're working on job A and I go and I talk to a client, well, then really who's paying for that? Job A. Because we're in like we have a unique structure and sort of set up to this business where really when we're working on your job is directly paying us.
Yeah.
Because of the way that, we take deposits and Basically, if we're working for you, we're working with your money. We're not working with the money on the job before or the job coming up.
Right. You're paying us, and we're physically making sawdust on the job that's paying us.
Yeah. But like I said, I definitely see the benefit. The more data you have on anything is better. So any information that you can glean from anything in the shop is good. But I feel like maybe it would be better in our situation to track just like days and weeks is kind of how we break it up.
Right.
Well, you know what? But just to argue that, argue against that, aren't you concerned how much time you spend on design work for a particular job that's coming up?
Yeah.
That's money that we probably are never going to get back unless we get the job.
Exactly. That's
even if we get the job, we're probably not getting it back.
Exactly. But sometimes we go overboard and spend too much time on doing design work and knowing that the fact that this customer is just, perfect example, the table lady. I'm not going to give the name of the lady. Yeah. What a pain in the ass that turned out to be, because we went through all this different design work and research and all that, and it's still up in the air.
Yeah.
And we really can't. We really can't get that money back either.
No, but you can only vet the client so much. We said, listen, okay, you want a table? The price is $15,000. She said, okay. We go back and forth on the design and never come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
That was under the pretense that we had agreed upon the fact that we were going to build her a $15,000 table.
Yeah.
Now we have.
Then it turned out to be a lot more.
Well, yeah, because the design changed. We have a new client questionnaire, which I don't know if we've spoken about this before, but on our website, I had somebody call today. We sent them over there. It's a Google form. You fill it out. It's got your budget, what you're looking for, what style, what's the timeline, what are the rough dimensions, and we use that to really vet potential clients and to see if it's worth it to invest that design time.
Yeah.
And if it's not, we really try not to.
Yeah, but don't you think? I'm sorry to cut you off, but don't you think that people are hesitant to put budget
They
down?
definitely are.
They are, but
I would be.
But we need that information.
I understand that, but somebody could look at that and say, well, I'm going to put the lowest budget I can possibly put on there, but I will spend a lot more if I have to. We get that comes in with a low amount, and we'll say, well, it's really not that in our favor to do anything with this.
We still respond to them.
Yeah.
This is the analogy I use. Let's say you go to a nice restaurant, you're going out for your 50th anniversary. The sommelier comes to the table. For those of you who don't know, that's the
wine guy.
The wine guy.
It ain't gonna be me.
And you
The
say,
wine guy.
"I'm looking for
beer guy.
We're looking for a bottle of wine. Well, what do you like? I like red wine. I like Burgundy. I like whatever, Sonoma." Are you not going to tell that guy what your budget is? Because he could bring you a $20 bottle of wine, or he could bring you a $25,000 bottle of wine.
Oh yeah, I will tell him that. Give me a Coors Light and go away.
Pretend that you like to drink wine.
I know, I understand that. But if you're really a wine
serve your
connoisseur,
client. Yeah, but you can't serve your client unless you know what their budget is.
Yeah, I know, but I just think people are afraid to put that amount in there.
That's their problem.
We're a custom cabinet shop. Everything we build is one-off. And if we don't know how much they're willing to spend or can afford, we can't engineer it. We can't design it. We can't do anything.
Well, I'm saying, what if we had it on the question? And I don't want to get into pull this any longer than it has to be. What if you left the budget out, and then once you got the questionnaire, then you say to yourself, next letter you send out to them says, well, I'm looking at what you want and what you want, but we're considering this is going to be X amount of dollars. And and that's it. End it right there. If they answer,
but that's
we're
exactly
interested.
how we respond.
Yeah.
But
they say, like, okay, we got the one where she wanted a vanity and she said it was $500. Her budget was $500. I responded. I said, a vanity of that size is going to be in the range of $5,000, and the material is going to cost more than $500.
You left out a zero.
But this is a way to.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know. Maybe it's just the times we're living in now, and it's just the frustration of getting jobs and getting people to hire you and all that. So I don't know. It could be a lot. You want to vet our clients, and we want the best clients. And when we get those clients, we treat them as if they're the best clients. There's no holes barred.
No,
we don't cut corners on anybody.
No.
It's like we're building for our friends and family, and by family I mean the ones we like.
Yeah, well, I explain it to every client too, because typically you don't get one of these new client questionnaires just out of the blue. Like today, I get a phone call from a guy. He says, "I'm looking to have 3 vanities made for my house." I said, "Okay, go to our website, fill this out." I said, "There's a whatever style budget." I said, "We asked for the budget because our design and our estimation process is very involved, and we need to establish a general budget before we get too deep into it." I think most people, when they hear that, are receptive to the idea of.
Right. I mean, if I'm in charge of the design and I know the parameters of the work as well as the cost, then I go into it with that mindset and of designing it. It's like I'll avoid things that I know cost us a lot of money to produce. And then I'll use every workaround that I know to create something that's functional and beautiful and lives up to our standards. And if I don't know what the budget is, and then I come in with something that's going to take us 300 hours to build, well, then I'm not serving that client either.
Right.
Because I'm giving them something that I dreamed up based on, this unknown money. And
yeah, you could design a vanity anywhere between $3,500 and $15,000.
Right.
So if you don't have some guidance from the client, we're always going to default to the one that's more expensive because we like nice things. We like to build nice things, complicated things with nice wood species and whatever. Interesting design.
And it's not always, and the profit's not exponential with the more expensive jobs. It's just because it costs us more to make it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's true. Every job, every customer that contacts you, 1 out of 10 customers, you're lucky if you get 1 or 2 jobs out of those 10 customers, because a lot of them are kicking tires too. So yes, I understand that.
We had a guy who reached out, got referred by an old client, wanted a built-in in his basement. So I sent him to the thing. He sends me an email. Did we talk about this last week?
No, we kind of shied away from it.
I filled the whole thing out except for the budget because, I think that's irrelevant. I said, well, the reason we need the budget, blah, blah, blah. I said, something like that. It's going to start around $10,000. Okay, sounds good. How do we move ahead? We come up with a design revision, go back. Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry. I got a couple other prices. They're significantly lower. So, unfortunately, I can't afford you.
Yeah. And typically, not every time, but typically, that guy is going to take our 3-dimensional drawing and design.
Yeah.
He's going to show it to some other person and go, "Can you build this for less than this number?"
Yep.
And the guy's going to go, "Of course I can." And, obviously it won't be the same thing that we're doing because they wouldn't be able to do it for any less than we could if they were building it in the same style.
Right.
But as far as, Rich, just to round back and wrap this one up, I thought about this for years and years and years about the design work and how much time I spend on things, with the great possibility it's never coming back. And I always consider that sort of like my advertising budget.
Yeah.
Because we don't spend any money on advertising. We don't really do anything. We have our Instagram. Yeah. And these are all sort of like social media platforms.
Well, now, unfortunately, it's kind of free now. So
yeah. So I always look at that, and I am always feeling a bit guarded because I know whatever I show somebody,
it's going to somebody else.
Yeah, they're going to show it. And we do pride ourselves in we're not, breaking any molds or doing anything like that. But our design work is really our calling card.
Yeah, again, with the hour situation, I could see down the road when things really get
If we
really
have some
busy.
cachet, sure.
Yeah, then I can understand.
Then it's
that.
like, yeah, you want us to investigate this possible job? Yeah, we have a certain upfront fee just for us to come up with a design.
He just got back, so sorry.
Yeah. But at this point in time, we're just trying to sell ourselves. So
Exactly.
that's it.
You saying that we have to put up the work up front, basically?
Yeah, that's it. This is where we are in the pecking order.
It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
that's how it is.
we face reality, and we're hard workers, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Again, Jack, great question. It's a good question that we debate at times. And again, I hope everything's going great for you.
Yeah. I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
The internship.
Why don't you shoot us a little podcast of what's going on with you? Or
Yeah.
just like a FaceTime thing, or just a little video on Instagram.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And don't forget to mention Greene Street Joinery.
That was a shameless plug.
That's GREENE.
No, but serious, Jack. I hope everything's going well with you.
What do we got here next? Brandon. Brandon asks, what's your favorite table saw blade? Do you ever get your blade sharpened?
This is the Brandon that got fired so you can get hired from that other
Is
job.
it?
Yeah. No, it isn't. I have no idea.
That was his name.
It's
was.
another very appropriate question. All these questions the past couple weeks have been like spot on to
Yeah,
things
I
that have
think
been actually going on.
Right. We just packed them up today.
We just sent 2 blades out yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yeah. He had a stint of good memory, and now it's gone.
I was rocking there for almost a week.
I'd say the favorite blades. We like a Forest Woodworker 2.
Yeah.
You got. I don't know about you, Rich. I know Rob likes the thin kerf. I'm a full kerf guy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ridge Carbide TS 2000, which is a what do they call it? ATBR. So it's got alternating top bevels, and then it's got a flat tooth every third tooth.
Yeah. I like
so
that
you get a
too.
nice clean cut. Flat bottom cut. And yes, we do send them out. We just sent out 2 blades to Ridge.
Yeah.
You can send them to Ridge Carbide, to Forest, whatever manufacturer.
Yeah,
Obviously
where
not
you
like
are.
DeWalt or
Depends on where
something
you're
like that.
located.
But yeah.
Yeah. For years, I was sending them up to Dynamic Saw in
Buffalo, New York, yeah.
And they do a great job. I mean, they'll take a blade that you think is ready for the trash heap, and they'll replace teeth. It sharpens.
We used to give our saw blades to Elmer from a guy who used to have no place in Oakhurst, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I know Builders General, which is a supply house by us,
Yeah.
they have a service where you can bring them your blades. They send them out to a guy, and they'll send them
Probably
back.
send them out to Ridge Carbide.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but how many times do you think we can sharpen a blade?
At least a half a dozen.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
That's what I was going to guess.
Yeah, you got to
6
get to the
plus,
point where it gets too.
where they get small.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
only so much carbide on there. But if you look at a good blade, even this blade that came on the saw stop is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Look at a Diablo, and then look at a Forest or a Ridge. The carbide is 4 times the size.
Yeah.
What about
you
an
get what you
Avante?
pay for.
Avanti, God, those are terrible.
Yeah.
FS Tool is really nice. Even the 10 Ryu for a cheaper blade.
You like a CMT?
Yeah, it's
I've
okay.
used CMT.
Yeah.
For the chop saw.
Yeah, I think we even have. Well, we might have sold them, but we had a couple of those arms.
That was mine.
blades.
I had this question. Let's say every time we had to get a blade sharpened, instead of getting it sharpened, we sold it. You think that would work out in sell it on eBay? All right, we got a Ridge Carbide TS 2000. It's a $150 blade.
Yeah, but then
Yeah, you couldn't sell it for $130 though.
Exactly,
'Cause
yeah,
it's only
you couldn't.
20. That if you don't know, a 40 tooth blade to send to Ridge Carbide, $20 to get sharpened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll come back like new.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, it
you
might even be
can't-
better.
You couldn't sell it and then try to get a new blade, and you're not recouping anything.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing anything there. I used to like to use a thin kerf on my job site.
Yeah.
So,
That's when I got started
Yeah,
with
they
the
have a
thin
hard
curve.
time spinning up a full size blade because the motor's
When I
not
was
that
using
strong.
the contractor saw, I got hooked on the thin curve.
Yeah, they wobble a little too much for me.
They do. And then I got the stabilizer.
Stabilizer, yeah, that's what I
But
had.
you know what that does?
The depth of cut is real.
So it was like
Yeah.
you can't win with that.
They had those for the chop saw too.
Yeah,
So yeah, buy a good blade.
get it sharp.
Recommend Forest and Ridge Carbide, both made in New Jersey,
Yeah,
and get them sharpened.
that's wild, right?
Yeah. I think they're like right down the street from each other too. There's like some carbide cul-de-sac.
In Rutherford area.
Cabal,
Lyndhurst is,
cabal.
Lyndhurst, Rutherford. Yeah, Lyndhurst. Well,
Yeah.
That's where Ridge is.
Passaic, Patterson.
Oh.
In that area, yeah, Lyndhurst, Passaic area.
What we got next?
Wow, enough with the beer. What's your choice of liquor? I'm a bourbon man myself, says Adam.
Good for you, Adam. Next question. I'll drink tequila, I'll drink vodka mixed up, but I don't drink hard liquor. So
We're not big drinkers here.
Yeah.
You know,
Mine's already done back here.
we're not big drinkers.
Yeah, I mean, typically, I literally I'll have this beer, one beer or two beers
Yeah.
here on Wednesday, and I don't really drink. I mean, I used to be a big drinker when I was young, but it's hard now.
We do have a bottle of bourbon in the medicine
do.
chest.
Yeah, that hasn't been opened in.
The
Yeah.
detention tamer.
Probably
We call
almost
it
a year.
tension tamer. Yeah.
If I am drinking liquor, I'll have I like a Negroni, which is a mixed drink. It's 1 part Campari, 1 part sweet vermouth, 1 part gin. That's good. I like Tito's vodka. I like nice like Reposado tequila.
Yeah. I like, I started experimenting with bourbons a couple of years ago. It's got its own subculture, as I'm sure Adam knows. And I started going to the local store, trying out some of not the super top shelf, really expensive ones, but like the middle of the road. I don't know if this is middle of the road, like the $50, $45 bottle of bourbon. And, but I would have it. I'd sit out there on the back porch with like a rocks glass with a huge ice cube and, about 3/4 of an inch.
One finger?
Yeah, 1 finger. And swirl it around and sip on it. Just,
We talked about this with a client, with Lori.
yeah.
She said, my wife is really into bourbon. And I said, I really like the idea of being into bourbon way more than I actually like it.
That's me too.
Ricky's into whiskeys. He belonged to the Whiskey of the Month Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's always posting things with the different whiskeys that he drinks. I can't do it.
I will every now and again. I haven't done it in a long time, but like if I go to dinner or something or go to a bar I don't even remember the last time I went to a bar to drink. Maybe when we had that makers meetup with John.
No, it was the party. No, yeah, you're right. The Makers Meet. That was the last time.
I might have a bourbon like a Booker's or a Woodford Reserve or something like that, but I don't know. I really don't. It's not that. I don't really like it that much.
I'm not a sipper guy.
You're not a
I'm
sipper.
chugger.
Yeah.
In fact, can I have that other beer if you're not going to drink it?
Yeah.
Because I'm going
Good luck opening it.
to chug that down too.
There's other beer in there too. There's that amber ale. You want that?
What's the amber ale?
That one that you got a couple weeks
Yeah, I'll
ago.
have that. You can save that for another day.
Put it in there. We got that that chocolate.
No, I
marshmallow
can't
one.
mix chocolate. If I had the chocolate first,
pretty
that'd be a
good.
different story.
Yeah. So Adam, we probably disappointed you with that answer.
Yeah, we're not drinkers, Adam. So
We really enjoy this beer.
we like the beer sponsors.
Yeah. And in the summer months, we used to sit out. We used to quit working early on Friday, and we'd sit out.
And we had margaritas and
We'd sit out on the
Daiquiris.
lawn and have beers. So
Thank you.
we're a beer drinking crew, that's for sure.
That's been there since that was full.
Yeah,
This is almost
that's been kicking around at least a year.
this is over a year out. So we call it our tension tamer.
You got the opener?
But this is Koval single barrel bourbon whiskey distilled in Chicago.
That's
Private.
actually made for Little Silver Bottle Shop, which is a
Yeah.
liquor store close to us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? If I had a cup, where's my cup? Oh, I know what we got.
Put it in your beer.
We got. Figures.
What you could do, make yourself a hot toddy,
Yeah.
a little bit of tea, a little bit of that whiskey, and some John Peters honey.
I'm gonna start drinking hot toddies. That's it.
Okay.
Got me going now.
Hot toddies are good. Yeah, sorry, Adam. We're pretty lame.
All right. You should read this next one, and you should probably answer this next one.
Here's our next one from Tim, True Trade. How has networking on Instagram helped you? Aside from just the casual banter, shooting the shit with guys and, having the ability to connect with other people that do the same thing as you. Anytime you run into a problem and you need advice, there's always somebody to reach out to. Always.
Yeah.
I know carpenters, furniture makers, cabinet makers. I mean, anybody under the sun. I talk to all kinds of people. So it's really good to have that support system.
Yeah. And it's really been the main driver of new business for the short time we've been a company here. When I first started, it was, it's kind of word of mouth thing. And then that's right when websites became the main thing. If you're old enough, you remember things like the Yellow Pages.
Or GeoCities.
Yeah, I think I even, when I first started, had a Yellow Pages ad for a couple of years. And that was pre-website. And then I built my first website on Yahoo. And I was like so far ahead of the curve as far as, this industry. And that's how I got all my new business, was through the website. And then that kind of became passé. A website's almost like a brochure or something that you would have to send somebody to nowadays.
Yeah, now it's just a requirement.
Yeah, it's just a thing, and people generally don't find you on the internet from a blind search like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking for something like I don't really look for trades, but like something along those lines. Let's say we needed upholstery for a job, and I'm looking for an upholsterer, and they don't have a website.
Yeah,
I'm going to be pretty apprehensive.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So, do you have any input on this, Gramps?
Me? What was the question?
Website, Instagram.
You know what? In fact, I had this conversation with myself the other day. It was kind of an argument.
Who won?
Pros and cons. Being an elderly gentleman.
Not that old.
No, but.
Well, Rich and I come from a generation.
Yeah, well, we didn't have,
we have to
that.
try and understand this.
Yeah,
now.
I've had the Yellow Book, and Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
I've actually had a Felicia Nunn that could tear the Yellow Pages in half.
Yeah.
That's just go. It's
Before
another
she beat
story.
your ass
Yeah.
with it.
But I think it's very important for today's woodworker, anybody that's really working right now, because it's so dominant. Sometimes I fight it because it can be confusing, but I think that's because I let it be confusing. I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say there. So I think all us old timers have to accept that it's here, have to embrace it, and have to learn how to work with it. And I think it's important because I think it's never going away, and it's always going to be there. And I think if you want to keep yourself in business and be successful, I think you have to get on this bandwagon of the whole social media, Instagram thing. I'm having fun with it now because I do stuff with my models and all that, and I did like an hour and a half video the other day, and I'm still trying to figure out how to cut it short.
I mean, imagine when the telephone became prevalent.
That's true.
And it was we had a hardware store in town, and we didn't want to adapt, and we were like, yeah, no, we're not getting one of those telephones. And people had phones in their home. They wanted to find out if we had claw hammers, so they looked for us, and it's like, Jones Hardware doesn't have a telephone? Let's call Smith Hardware.
Yeah.
So
it has helped. It has helped. As I said, it's I find it frustrating because my tendency is to forget how to do certain things. So when I'm on the icons that I have to press to figure out what I have to do, and I know Jeff's laughing because he'll say, "Well, why don't you just press this?" But for me, sometimes I try to remember which one I have to, because I don't do it every day. If I do it every day, it's a different story, like putting on your pants. And
because Jeff does it all for us.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't put my pants on every day.
I spend a embarrassingly,
but it's part of our lives now, and it has helped. It's getting a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things, I mean, there's a lot of dark and bad things with social media, with people that are obsessed with that infinite scroll where you can just literally scroll, and seeing, people that are super physically fit and beautiful people. And, it can hurt a lot of people. But the best thing about social media has been everyone now has an outlet for what they're passionate about. Whereas you might have been in a woodworking guild or a club back in the day. Well, if you don't have time for that now, you can be on Instagram and talk to Tim or Wild Willie or whoever. And, you can connect with all these people that are into the same thing as you.
Yeah. You could be into dressing like a horse and prancing around the backyard.
Yeah,
and you'll find people.
Like TLC.
Yeah, I got a story for that
My
one.
Strange Addiction or whatever it's called. You could be into eating the foam in the couch cushions.
That's true.
Yep. And there's
probably people that do that too.
Yeah, there's definitely a subreddit.
Oh, man. So what's next? All right, I'll read this one.
It's from Kip.
How do you guys feel about these channels on YouTube with big shops and $100,000s of dollars worth of tools? Is it needed? As a hobbyist, I felt pretty intimidated when I first started. What do you guys think about that?
Well, there's always going to be somebody with more tools or more experience or more work. So I wouldn't judge yourself based on that. But in terms of like these YouTube people that have all these things undeservingly, yeah, I mean, I don't see how anyone could be for that. There's a lot of people that have very little skill and they're kind of riding this personality thing or this ability to create content for laymen's. I don't know. I don't want to sound too cynical, but I think it's easy to tell who's real and who's fake. And, I think anyone would agree that we don't like fake people.
No, you know what, Kip, my best advice is to, if you're interested in gleaning information from things like YouTube, find some site that resonates with you and ignore the other stuff. If you felt intimidated, that's understandable. Just move on and there is somebody out there. There's the proverbial lid for every pot out there on the World Wide Web, right?
This whole question stemmed from first Kip. He sent me a link to a YouTube video, and it was this guy. I forget the name.
Dressed up in a horse's outfit?
No, doing a shop tour, and he has this shop. There's not a speck of dust anywhere. He's got 4 shapers all lined up next to each other. There's crown molding, and
you should see our shop walls and window casings and everything.
I said to him, this guy must have retired with a lot of money, because there's no way that you could do this professionally. And justify, I mean, maybe you do it on nights and weekends, but to justify the time it takes I said the shop doesn't even look like he worked in it.
No.
And it was ugly.
Our office desk is literally scraps of plywood screwed together into the corner.
Maybe someday we'll make something nicer, but it's a business. You got to get shit done sometimes.
It serves a purpose, and that's not making us money over there. It's not a vanity project here. This is... we put our time and effort and work, our love into the work that the clients bring to us. Everything else is more or less secondary. Were you going to say something, Rich?
Yeah, I think the difference between, you got to look at the difference between what's on YouTube and what's on these so-called reality shows, and we've had this conversation before about reality shows and the people that they have on these shows, that they're all good-looking people and so forth and so on. But not talking about woodworking sense, but in a modeler's sense, I have gone on YouTube and checked out certain gentlemen on YouTube that are modelers that talk about how to finish this, how to weather a piece of model, and how to finish it and all that. And there are some really good people out there, even young kids. That this is just one kid. He's got to be in his early 20s. That has a very popular show, and he goes through the whole process of building something. But he doesn't have that gigantic shop. His shop is some little room, and it's usually messy because he's working in there. So be wary of people that show you a shop tour of their shop, and you don't see any work going on, or you don't see any work there.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's is it vain? I don't know. I'd rather show a shop that has a little bit of sawdust, a little bit of dust here, and then a couple of pieces of what you're working on hanging around there. Stay away from those YouTube channels where you got these guys that are just showing up and showing you these $100,000 shops. Most of the times you can find guys on YouTube that are legit, and they'll have a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And you'll see they have a lot of good followers. Those are the ones you want to keep track of or to watch.
You know, you said something that really struck me. Personality driven.
Yeah.
And that's kind of reality TV, and I guess a lot of these YouTube things where it's the
Which
the
I don't
way
want to
somebody
diminish
looks.
that either, because if that's what you're in it for, then that's fine. If you like to watch a guy that builds things, but you're in it for their personality and not the actual building, then that's fine. But if you're looking for how to build something, then that's not what you're looking for.
Because that makes me think of, and I'm sorry to use a name, but like Rachel Ray. She became, very popular, and her culinary skills are pretty small. They're minimal.
Yeah.
And her show was personality driven. So
She's no Jacques Pepin.
Right. As an ex-chef, I would look at that show and go,
Choose what?
What is this?
Jacques Pepin?
She's no Jacques Pepin.
Who the hell is he?
You don't know who Jacques Pepin is?
No, I
It's one of
don't.
the most
Jacques
renowned-
Pepin's wife just passed away.
Yeah, French chefs on television.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
with Julia Child for a
Oh,
long
I'm
time.
so sorry to hear that he
Yeah.
lost his wife.
She was
Yeah.
a local,
That's
actually a
sad.
local woman.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
But so it's not to take anything away from her as a TV personality, but that's what I viewed her as, a TV personality.
Yeah,
That's what those reality
And so
shows are.
If somebody's looking for cooking tips and things like that, that's not the place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you'll find. I'm sorry, you'll find that on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is a different type of outlet as far as than reality shows. YouTube, you have more of the regular guys out there. Again, you have some dickheads out there
Because
too.
anybody can post.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all about what the hell was I going to say? I had a way I was going to phrase it. It's all about what you're looking to get out of it. Like if you're if you're, let's say you like Rachel Ray and you like her show and you don't know how to cook at all, well, that might be good for you. But if you're a professional woodworker, you don't want to watch the guy that's got, I'm sponsored by Hart Tools, come from Walmart. That's not your guy.
Ryobi.
Yeah, you might watch
not
that
my
because you like the person and you like the content.
Right.
Like I watch a guy called Marling Bates. He makes fishing lures. I don't make fishing lures. I watch it because I like the guy's personality, and it's an interesting video. So I wouldn't discourage people from.
But you like fishing, so you watch it for that reason too.
Yeah.
No, there's something in it for everybody.
But if I was a pro bait maker, I probably wouldn't watch that guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's not. He does it just that's his job. Is he's a YouTube guy.
That's what made Norm such a unique person. He was totally accessible to the beginner. He was the ultimate.
He was
pro.
a regular guy.
Yeah, he was a real guy in the field. Just the combination.
To Norm.
Here's to you, Norm.
Yeah.
You started us all us old timers off.
Yeah, I have his autograph.
Hey, even me. I mean, I used to watch This Old House, New Yankee, before I had any inclination of
Was
doing
it the
anything.
Yankee work? No, this
New Yankee Workshop.
What was that guy's name? He always wore that hat like you like to wear.
Yeah, the
What the hell was
what's
his name?
The real close talker guy. He would always he'd be like, "Yeah, Rich, this thing right here," and he'd have his hands real close to the other guy all the time. The Woodwright.
Oh,
Yes, that's
guy.
it.
Oh, on the other show.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the newsboy?
He'd always be like all up in people's space.
That was the only other show that was available back then.
Yeah.
Was Norm Abrams and him.
Yeah.
He's still on TV. He was in there one day when I went inside the house.
Yeah.
So Tim,
The Woodwright's shop or something.
be careful what you look at. You know, you got to judge what's. Oh, not him. That's Kip. So I look at the other question from Instagram. Kip, just be careful what you're looking at. Don't believe everything you see. I mean, talk to other people. Yeah. And you could tell who the phonies are out there. So, I mean, you could trust yourself that this guy is giving you a lot of bullshit, but this other guy, look at his bench and see what's going on, and there's a mess there and all that, because
trust your gut.
Here's a prime example. So we were talking about that video with the guy with the table saw before.
Yeah.
When John was here.
Yeah.
So this guy, sponsored by Grizzly, big time YouTube following, Instagram, all kinds of social media. I'm sorry. This guy could build a little cabinet, but he doesn't know jack compared to a real professional. So just be careful of where you're trying to get good information. Get it from the right place. When you're looking for entertainment, then go to one of these entertainers.
Because some people are in it for the money. It's bottom line.
That's all. You know, I've been waiting to get to this next question. I'm
The
really
money?
looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I'm not even
read it?
going to read it because it's too long.
Sure, thank you. Here's a question.
This came in through email.
All right.
Can I read the butt part? I just want to say butt.
All right. So,
Don't miss your cue.
here we go. I've been having this question rolling through my head for a few years. The terms quality work, high standards, pride in the craft, and custom have been used by every person who enjoys working with their hands. Whether it be ceramics, glass blowing, metalworks, masonry, the same principles attract a certain person to want to create something to the highest level. You guys have touched on this numerous times.
But
Then eventually that person tries to turn that drive into a business that can sustain them. For those who do not need money, this does not apply. Those who call it a passion project. And for them, I'm happy. This is a 2-pager, boy. Now I'm getting to the question from last week's podcast about the surprises and disappointments of Greene Street. Rob's response to his disappointment is the downfall of customers' appreciation / value of the said principles. This is my thought. People do not keep the same job for 30 or 40 years anymore. People do not own their own home for multiple generations anymore. I acknowledge that there are huge socioeconomic reasons for this, but just trying to fast forward to the end result. The phrase, home is where the heart is, or home is where you hang your hat, is gone. Homeowners now look at their house like it's a box where they shove their stuff and kids into for about 5 to 7 years. Which is why when you go to anyone's home, obviously not so much now, the first thing they say is, I'm so sorry about the mess. This is not a cynical rant, but more of an observation that I think trickles down to what people value. Isn't that what it comes down to? The value of said object? If people do not value where they live, then why would they value what they put in it? The work is the easy part. It's what we enjoy. That is why we got into this. Olive Garden, IKEA, Walmart, they're all doing fine. And that's from Eric.
You got the shirt on.
That's right. Blake Woodwork. How appropriate.
Yeah.
This is the one question that came in through email, and Jeff read it, and boy, it just touched me. So many different thoughts ran through my head, and we could all relate to this. Those of us, doing this, whether it's woodwork, whether it's you're an electrician, and you're spending the time routing your cables instead of just shoving them into the walls and stapling them and any which way. When you do good work, you just want a little recognition for that. You want people to appreciate it. And, we do it for our own sanity as well. But, do you want to pick up where I just left off, Jeff? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot of it right there in the question.
Yeah. In the lead up.
Yeah. It's, I don't want to say it's discouraging, but it makes you think, is this kind of business sustainable? Are we too far down the rabbit hole that we're not going to be able to recover and get back to a time where people did value these kind of things?
Longevity.
Yeah, it's a good question. Are we able to get back to that point? I mean, I certainly think that we're seeing trending in that direction of people wanting things with more longevity, that are made more locally with better quality materials and parts. So I don't know. I mean, it's a lot to ponder.
Rich, you thinking about anything? Or?
Oh, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you say?
The part, there are a couple of humorous parts there too, because how many times have we shown up for a first time at someone's home and the first thing they say is sorry about the mess?
I say the same thing when I come to my house.
I mean, it's almost every time.
Yep.
And I tell you, the way he put it, where folks don't look at their home as an always place anymore. It's either like a stepping stone or in some way it's got to be linked to the fact that people don't work at a job for their whole working life anymore and retire. There's this sense of impermanence that just blankets all of our lives now. And here we are coming in going, yeah, and you're going to give this to your kids and they'll give it to their kids. And
they're like, oh, yeah.
What?
There's just such a sense of insecurity in shelter, like in terms of if you're going to stay in a place for an amount of time, in job, in economic situation. I don't think there's as much stability or even just perceived stability as there used to be.
You're right. It's got to start with the job, I suppose. If you don't feel that you're going to spend your working career at, let's say, 3M or something like that, so you don't know where you're going to be in 3 years or 5 years. You don't know if you're going to be able to afford this house. You don't know if you're going to be fired, let go, transferred.
But I think what he's saying is that back in the old days, and this is even what my feelings were, when I first got my first job in accounting, I thought, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. This is going to be my job. You never thought you'd be fired. You never thought you were going to be let go. You always thought you had job security.
Yeah.
So people that had the job security, then they considered buying a house in that area, and you were going to stay in that area, have a family, and grow up, and that'll be your house for the rest of your life. It was like that in the olden days. It's been changing. It's changing since I started having that same philosophy, where when I first lost my job, I was devastated. I'm sitting on an unemployment line, and I'm there with a suit and a tie on. And all these people that are in unemployment office are all just dressed casual, jeans and all that. And here I am sitting there in a business suit. And I say to myself, I don't belong here. But in reality, I had to be there.
Yeah.
So this whole society has changed so much. It's never going to be like it was back then. And it's just funny because you listen to that guy, that comic, Steve Manifusco.
Oh, wow.
Sebastian Maniscalco?
Yeah, that's it. Sebastian, whatever his name is. I think you know what it was. He talks about that. He talks about one of the old times of having your grandmother would set a piece of cake out, and you'd have it for guests that come knock on the door.
Don't touch the cake.
Don't touch the cake. That's for guests.
Sara Lee pound cake.
And you used to have that back then. Yeah. And then you go to where it is now.
I was in the neighborhood.
And somebody
stop and see the kids.
Somebody knocks on the door now. You're saying, Who's at the door?
Hide behind the couch.
It's just the way society has changed.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I agree. And that's the scary point is that, people don't want to buy something for a house that they're only going to live in for 4 or 5 years. Because 4 or 5 years, they might not be there. Even the people that have a lot of money,
Right.
they're losing their jobs now too, and they don't have that. They don't have that flexibility anymore. They don't have that ability to do that. And you know what? This is a really interesting subject, and it's to me it's a scary subject.
Are we at a step with society?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. Absolutely.
I mean, but to the point where we'll become extinct like a dinosaur, or are we part of some subculture and we can, maintain our low profile and soldier on in spite of all of the things that are against us?
I think we can soldier on, but our expectations of being and making a living out of it and surviving, yes, we can. Getting to that next level, I don't think that's going to happen. There's another argument I had with myself the other day. Is that looking at the future of the business, I think we need to head towards more of the social media type of work, the videos, the podcasts and all that. Because the other aspect of the job is starting to diminish.
Yeah.
I mean,
John Peters, sorry to cut you off, but John Peters said it the first time he was here, and it really just knocked me back for a loop. Because it's so true. He said, sometimes it's easier to sell a video than it is to sell a piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens? Let's say what happened. Let's throw, if we get this big church job, you're talking about 6 months worth of solid work. What do we do then? Do we still do the podcast on a limited basis?
No, we break it off at the end of Wednesday.
I mean, as I'm saying, but do we pursue the video thing and all that other stuff that we're trying to get into? Should we concentrate more on that aspect of the job or more aspect of society now as opposed to the old way we like to do things, is like physically build something for something?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. And I think that having a really interesting job like that church job is, because it's building you could really, really beautiful stuff. Yeah,
you can videotape it and all that.
You're leveraging that into all the social media, because now you have all this really unique content, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do that kind of work.
Well, I just hope you get the people that would want to watch that kind of work being done.
Yeah, well, the hands-on stuff is interesting, whether it's a chair or whether it's an altar.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this has to do with, this sense of instant gratification that we have now and cheap overseas labor, where the reason that, maybe not the reason, but a big reason as to why people viewed these homes as permanent and these things that they furnished them with as mainly permanent was that, it was an investment, and it was a long-term investment. Now you go to, like you said, Walmart, Target, you get a piece of furniture for $200, $500.
It's disposable. It's a disposable razor.
If you spend $1,000, you're
like our accountants.
You're spending a lot.
I'm not mentioning names.
So the ability to swap things out cheaply and quickly and painlessly is too convenient for people, and they don't want to commit to something.
I agree. That I look at it too. It's like an investment. For example, my property that I live now, my wife has been there for, it's got to be 25 years. But we recently looked up what the value of the house would be now, and it's a lot of money. So what's to stop people? Because we really don't have any ties here in the sense of family, yes, but again, we're at the retirement type of age. Do we sell and we go somewhere else? It's
Miami's in vogue.
The other thing is people just have less money now.
Yeah, that's true.
Wages have gone up. I saw a thing. I won't speak to the total validity of it, but let's say wages went up 12% over the past 20 years since year 2000. The cost of everything has gone up anywhere between 40 to 100%. So wages haven't increased in conjunction with the cost of living. So there's not as much money floating around that can be used on these things. People are worried about paying the gas bill, the electric bill, the cell phone bill, internet, and
going on vacation.
Mortgage. Yeah. I haven't been on vacation since my freaking honeymoon. So it's just, I don't know. People want to spend less money on that because they have so many basic needs that they're trying to meet.
Yeah, and I think what we do, for the most part, unless it's somebody like Anon who really appreciates the craft and living amongst the pieces of furniture that we made for them.
Yeah.
Most people look for their bits of what would you call when somebody buys something to make them feel better? Like you have those special
gratification.
Purchases. Yeah, like people do that sort of spending. And it's not going to be on a cabinet or a piece of furniture.
Like a frivolous purchase.
Right. They're like, if it's a woman, maybe she might or had her eye on like a Gucci bag or something like that. Guy wants a new set of golf clubs, or this is where he's going to spend that extra $2,000 he was
like a vanity purchase.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we rarely ever fit that bill.
No, and people are spending less and less time at home.
Yeah,
that's true.
People have longer commutes. They work longer days.
Except Rob.
That's true.
He doesn't go anywhere.
Well, Rob built half the shit in his house. So he's living good in there.
Don't you need some new stuff in there?
All the stuff I built, it was either trying to figure out how to build it, or it was made out of some leftover, which limited the size.
Yeah, but it's still 100 times nicer than anything from Walmart.
But it's funny because everything's about 3/4 done.
Yeah. The market's very small. The market for this kind of stuff is very small, and you get guys like, let's say if you like nice furniture, names like Moser and stuff like that, and you're gonna go to a place like that before.
Yeah.
Typically you're going to go to a place with a catalog where you can go and see the table and the set of chairs and Kim and John down in Nantucket, they have this table and we liked it, and
I think the clientele that does that is dwindling, unfortunately, and it's you got the clientele now because of the whole economic situation that it's just buy it and throw it away in a couple of years.
But this is where you have to leverage the social media, because now you have the ability to be in front of people that are halfway across the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
Whereas if you're in the Yellow Pages 50 years ago, good luck getting somebody in the next town over, the next state over.
You're right.
So now we have people that follow us in Russia and all over the place. So
how's Belgium rating? Are we still up there?
The ratings haven't been great lately, but you have the ability to put yourself in front of people. You can do targeted ads on Instagram. I could set an ad and I say I want to be people in Southern California, and the ad will go only there. So
I have to excuse myself.
The ability to market yourself to a broader audience is right within social media.
Yeah, and
you better hurry up. It's the last question.
I know. That was the last question.
And,
I'm going to do one of these.
I'm not going to
stretch.
Yeah, that's right. TD says stretch. Eric.
It's snowing out here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't see Rich slip in the background of the shot.
Yeah, well, I'm not insured. This is really a provocative statement and question rolled into, one thing. And
it creates more... it's more thought provoking than able to be answered. We don't have the answer. I wish we did.
But to sort of circle back around to the Instagram question, and which is sort of obliquely related to this topic of the changes in society. I try and look at it and put a positive spin on it, where even though society's changing, maybe against a company like ours in this one way, it's changing for us, or at least giving us this opportunity to be on Instagram. And I chuckle to myself all the time when I think about the podcast and the response we've been getting from our listeners. People sending us stuff, just people writing in and asking questions and saying, hey, man, I really enjoyed it. I don't think you really understand how much of a charge we
Getting that phone call yesterday from, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, from the guy in Michigan that's the postal worker. I mean, that blew my mind.
We were plating some wood. All of a sudden, Jeff picks up the phone. Who's this? Who's this calling from Michigan? We stopped
Kalamazoo.
If you were listening last week, was it last week we were talking about?
Yeah.
We were like, what is up with media mail?
Yeah. Wait, did we not talk about this?
No.
At the beginning of the podcast?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I must have forgotten.
Yeah, we were like,
I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, what is up with media mail? And I think, so we were kind of griping about how it was so slow. We were making jokes. And I think we ended up, I wasn't sure if it was me or Jeff that said, if there's somebody out there that works for the post office, get in touch with us. Let us know. What's the deal with media mail?
So I got a call from a USPS supervisor.
Yesterday, in the middle of our workday.
Filled us in on the whole situation. It's what we thought, it gets sort of prioritized last. But I mean, it's just so cool.
Yeah. And
it was like back to the whole networking thing. Like, never talking to people. I don't have friends in Michigan. Like,
no.
Just to be able to talk to people from different places, different walks of life. I mean, it's cool.
And the local guys we've met here.
Yeah.
So
even somebody like John Peters. Yeah. I was watching John on YouTube for a while before I even knew that he lived a couple miles away.
John came by today, asked us a question, said hello and Merry Christmas. And if you don't know, if you're not a fan of John's, he's a beekeeper as well. Mm-hmm. And we love the first jars of honey he brought here, and we've been raving about them. So he brought us more honey.
Yeah.
So this is the upside of the changes that are going on in our society.
And look at this.
Rich got a t-shirt.
Yeah. Eric sent a shirt. Dave.
Today. Yeah. Blake Woodworks. I was wearing this shirt around the house so often. My wife's like, what's the deal with that shirt?
Are you working for them now?
She sure says, "What? That's a new company."
I said, I just like it.
Yeah, we changed the name. Who's Blake? I don't know.
It's named after my grandson.
Yeah.
It's Balaki Woodworking.
Yeah.
Balaki.
Aaron Woodworks.
So that's, I guess, how we can wrap it up, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
It's
no.
This
you
whole
think we're fighting a tidal wave and we're just gonna drown?
I'd be curious to know. I'd like to sit down.
Yeah.
I would love to have like a big podcast with a bunch or just like a
round table
FaceTime type of thing.
Yeah.
With a lot of people to discuss this. Because I think it's a pretty important thing that's going on right now.
I think if you can hang on, you're gonna be part of the new vanguard that may always be small.
There's always gonna be a subculture that appreciates.
But I would take even more pride in being a part of it then. Rather than being fashionable, I love swimming against the stream anyway. So
Eric, next time, cut your questions a little bit shorter. This is a lot to read here.
No, the first part was a statement. That was his credo.
What was that email signature that I saw the other day? I was like, this should be Rob's. It's like, I usually take 2 days to read my emails, and then I like to take another 2 days to ponder the intricacies of the email. These days, the fragmentation of time and expectation, it's not really akin to the way I live. So
that's right. I've pretty much always been an outsider, and I like it out here, and I love rubbing elbows with other outsiders.
Yeah, no, I can agree.
So there you go.
Well, as it does every week, that brings us to the beer of the week. Back to the beer of the week.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the fact that I got a shirt.
The Triple Star Tennessee Brew Works.
It was very good. I really liked it.
I think I finished mine by like the third question.
Well, that doesn't usually happen.
No, not at all.
It was good. I liked it. I'm not the biggest fan of triple style beers, but I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a style.
Yeah,
Belgian triple.
And what's the triple in it?
Usually they have like that coriander and that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah.
What is that the other thing they always use? Is it a coriander that they say all the time on a beer? They always throw coriander in there.
Yeah, I
What was
mean,
the
like
other
those
one?
Belgian white style beers always have coriander and orange peel or lemon peel or, stuff like that.
You know, it says here, drink with enthusiasm. I like that part.
Oh yeah, we were. I was very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Cellar cold, drink with enthusiasm.
I really liked it.
And always look for this little label right here that says Independent Brewers Association.
Yeah.
That means, there's a lot of beer out there
Are there other?
that's made by Budweiser, but
Yeah,
they have
Killian Red is made by Budweiser. I heard.
even like Goose Island, which was a craft brewery, got bought out by AB InBev, which is Anheuser-Busch.
Oh yeah, Ziegenbach or Zellerbach was a place out in Houston, was bought out by Michelob, and now it's the Michelob Dark Ale
Yep.
or the Michelob Bach.
Beware. A lot of fakers, a lot of fugazis.
Yeah, I think it tasted extra special and really good because of the origin.
Yeah. Not requesting, but if anybody wants to sponsor the beer of the week, feel free.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can get our address on the website. I mean, it's a cool idea.
It was awesome. It really was. I mean,
Yeah.
opening that box. Yeah, extra large. Rich wears extra large.
Yeah,
Jeff
if you
and
got
I
a
are just
local
large.
favorite beer. Because, this beer we can't get in New Jersey because if you know anything about this sort of distribution system for beer, it's difficult for small craft breweries to get distribution in
Oh
other
shit!
states.
I was going to go to the liquor store.
Remember Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all about, not being able to get Coors, right?
10-4, little buddy.
Get Coors.
Yeah, like east of the Mississippi.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because they had to ship cold.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, the reason with beer, the Coors was never shipped warm. It had to be
I
shipped
know
to
that,
banquet
but
beer.
what's that have to do with Smoking the Bandit?
That's what the whole
I have no
movie
idea
was
what
about.
that has to do with
Beer?
Smoking and the Bandit.
Yeah.
I thought they were smuggling something else.
No, it was beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a bet.
That makes the movie a little more lame than I thought.
No, it's great.
I like the car.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
tool of the week in the description as always. Go to our website, gear recommendations. We have a full Amazon storefront now, and you can check out
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff that we use.
Don't forget the ho sale.
That's go to the shop on our website. We got the glue clips, all that crap. Ho, 25% off. What else? Instagram, YouTube, subscribe, like, all that stuff.
Yeah, and our Patreon.
Yeah, if you want to help support the podcast, become a patron on Patreon. Helps a lot. We do a after show, so we'll sit down here, do 30 minutes or so. We're going to talk about something super exciting. You see what that says right there?
Oh, yeah.
What's
All
that
I see
say?
is Chiquita Banana.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Chiquita Banana.
Chiquita Banana, baby.
Just wait. It's going to blow your mind.
Oh boy.
It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Patreon.
Yeah, we want to thank our gold tier
patrons.
patrons, David Murphy and Manny Sirianni. Thanks,
you.
guys.
Mille grazie.
Yep.
All right.
Till next week. Festivus Miracle next week.
Yes. Be safe out there.
Yeah. If you're in this East Coast, be careful. It's snowing out there.
Buckle up.
Yeah. Come on, Rain.
How many fucking naps are there going to be?